I've been sent through the Elgato Facecam 4K and the Emeet Pixy 4K, and here is a quick look at how they both perform side by side using the out-of-the-box settings, unless otherwise stated. In a dark room with just the glow coming from my monitor, and we can be seen on both, but there is noise on both of the images, which is to be expected when there's hardly any light available. The movement looks really nice and fluent on the Facecam with its 60 frames per second. The Pixy isn't too bad, but obviously not as smooth as the Facecam. With natural light coming in through the window, and we are overexposed on both, which I did expect, there is a massive reduction in the way of noise to the image, with the Pixy maybe having a little more noise compared to the Facecam. The black on my shirt looks much deeper on the Facecam, but the overall image quality I would say is better on the Pixy as it looks more crisp. This is due to the Pixy having a dual lens design, which is more noticeable when we move closer to the lens, as it also has autofocus, whereas the Facecam is a fixed focus lens, and I'll show you more on that shortly. Switching on a pair of ring lights in front of me, and I'm overexposed on both, but more so on the Pixy. Now don't panic and think this is how it's just going to perform. You can go into their own software, or you can go through OBS and manually configure the exposure in each, and this will bring you a much better result on both of the webcams. When I switched on some backlights and using the out of the box settings, then this really helps with the exposure on my face on both, but the Facecam does handle it much better. Again, you can manually configure the settings on the Pixy to really improve that final image, and the Pixy just looks more crisp than the Facecam, although the movement in the 4K mode just can't compete with that Facecam. Now focusing is where the Pixy excels with its autofocus lens, and it grabs the focus on this object amazingly quickly, whereas the Facecam requires it to be quite a distance away, which might be okay for something like this, but if you're trying to focus on an ID badge for example, where someone on the other end needs to read the information, then the Pixy is great, the Facecam not so much. Removing a green screen in OBS, and I did find this to be a little bit of a struggle. Now I know my lighting setup is not the best, but I do normally have better results than this with other webcams that I've tested. Now when I do bring one of the lights over to where there's a lot of pixelation, it does resolve the issue. I did try having to play around with the sliders in OBS, but I started to lose detail on my shirt. Probably didn't help that I had a yellow logo on the front. So if you do want to use this with a green screen, just make sure your lighting and the position of that green screen is on point for it to work well. Now I did get a better result with the Emeet Pixy. There is some pixelation in the bottom corner, that's due to my own dodgy lighting setup, and just to prove this, when I move my light closer towards the green screen, this gets removed immediately. So again, you shouldn't have any issue with this, providing your lighting setup is pretty decent. If you would like to see a more in-depth review on either of the webcams, then select which one you would like to see more of.